What's going on, people? So much like I did the last 2 days with the Invincible 3s and the Infinity 4s, right? I'm just going to do a real quick follow-up as far as how these Pegasus Trail 5s worked out for me. It's not going to be anything like too in-depth or whatever. It's just, again, just some brief thoughts that I have from having dealt with these, right? So I wore them to work, right? And then went to the trails nearby, ran around just a little bit because I didn't really need to do a whole lot, honestly, and I didn't want to because I've been running a lot lately. So ran around just a little bit with these, walked around for a long time and all whatnot. And all in all, these things worked out great, right? Like I was a big fan of them. I mean, I liked the Pegasus 3s that I had before. I felt like these would probably be a lot of the similar experience, right? And they are, right? So one thing that I'll say as far as the upper, because I didn't really mention it a whole lot in the review, but when you do have this kind of material on the upper, it does make it so it's a little more snag free, right? So if you're running through things, you are likely to less likely to get these caught on something and torn up or whatever. It's an advantage over the Flyknit, right? The breathability was like rock solid throughout the whole time. The soles are down there, right? It is going to be a little bit more rugged and all that stuff. So going over the different rocks and the more gravelly parts, whatever, you barely even notice it. So that was cool. Running again, like with a nice good stride when I had like some open spaces and all that. Again, everything about them felt great to me, right? And these are 150, so I would compare them, I guess, to the Nova Blast 3 Trail that I had on last week. And all in all, like I prefer these. Like I think that it's a better visual. The comfort is largely the same. However, these they're not so like cushiony in the back, right? So they don't have that bouncy thing that again, it's not for me, right? It's just not a thing I'm into. But otherwise, I would say look at both of them, figure out whichever one makes sense for you. But past that, the one thing that I will bring in to think about as well is I was wearing these on just the normal trails here, right? So if you're like me and you're just going out to like the local national park type things, right, and you're not doing anything too crazy, yeah, these are going to be just fine for doing that, right? Now, if you're going and you're doing something more in depth or whatever, you like some more intense type terrain, like if you were going to be on like an episode of Survivor or something and you're going to be dealing with like all kinds of puddles and whatever, I would probably still consider like suggesting like the Pegasus Trail, but maybe like the Gore-Tex version, right? Because I feel like that one would probably hold it better on the upper as far as like, all the extra puddles and all the things like that, right? And you'll probably still get the same comfort under the foot and everything. And hopefully it's similar breathability, but again, I've never worn the Gore-Tex ones. But I guess at the same time, if you're doing Survivor stuff, you probably have some other things to think about now, don't you? Later, people.